Hey everyone, in this video, we are going to be discussing a very important topic to improve our chess, which is thinking inside the box. And we're going to do so by looking at a position played between Larry Christensen versus Sam Shanklin. So, what is thinking inside the box? So, basically, there are many chess factors which we think subconsciously, but we don't really think it consciously. So, those chess factors are: search for candidate moves, overcome resistance when faced with it, quickly evaluate how much time a position is likely to require, identifying the weakness in a position, not moving too quickly, slowing down, calculating to make sure not to miss any moves early on. So you see, all of these are basic thought process that everyone uses subconsciously. But in this video, we're gonna use all of these factors consciously, and this is a very important topic in order to improve your chess, because once you learn how to use these chess factors consciously, eventually you will able to improve your chess. So for example, we have this position on the board. So it's white to play, and white played knight to e2. So now it's black to play Sam Shanklin's move. So I want you guys to pause this video and try to look for candidate moves. How are you gonna continue the position? First, you need to evaluate the position. Then you need to search for candidate moves. Of course, don't be in a hurry. Try to pause, try to take your time and think what should be the candidate moves. Okay, so first let's start by evaluating the position, what's happening. So material wise, the position is even. Talking about what's happening, so as you can see, the bishop, the knight, the rook, the pawn, every piece is trying to attack the white king. And if I talk about white's pieces are on a very passively defending. So of course, we need to look for ideas to attack the white king from the black side. So in this position, of course, currently the knight's attacking the bishop. So a normal move is simply going back with the bishop, because the bishop is currently a strong piece covering this very important diagonal. So bishop b6 is a move which actually Sam Shanklin played in the game. But looking for candidate moves, if you guys found out the move knight takes g3, which is a serious candidate move that you must consider whenever you are looking for candidate moves. Why? Because you're trying to attack the white king. After knight g3, fg3 is not possible because the pawn is pinned. So after knight g3 is force. Okay, let me show it to you on the board. Knight g3 is force, which allows queen h4. And after queen h4, as you can see, black is trying to attack the white king. So if you guys found out the move knight g3 as your candidate moves, congratulations. If not, still this move, still you can improve. So bishop b6 happened in the game because that's the most natural looking move instinctively. But knight g3 is a move that you must consider. Now, in the Sam was calculating knight g3, and his idea was knight g. Now I have told you knight g3 is coming, so I want you guys to once again pause the video and try to find, is knight g3 winning? And if not, how to make it work? Can we? Or is knight g3 just failing? Okay, so while playing the game, Sam was thinking knight g3 for sure. Knight g3. So basically, knight d4 is also a move capturing the bishop. But after knight f1, now black's having a rook for the two minor pieces, which is pretty good. Let's say knight e6, fe6, a couple of trades. The queen can take the h4 pawn, and now white's having two minor pieces, which are not really active for the rook, and black can just push the pawn, the king is weak, and black's already winning, or even better. So knight d4 is not working, you have to take knight g3, that's a piece for the pawn. White is a piece up. And black takes queen h4. So this is exactly what Sam was calculating. And after queen h4, black's threatening a very serious move, which is queen g3, capturing the knight because the f pawn is pinned. And if you try to move your knight, already g3 is a very strong move. You can't take the bishop because the mate is hanging on h2. And I'm putting tremendous pressure on the pawn on f2, opening up the rook, opening up the bishop. The queen is getting in and black's winning. But here after queen h4, you should always try to look for your opponent's best defense possible. So try to pause if you haven't found the defense yet for white. Try to pause and find it. Okay, so here Sam considered the move knight c2, attacking the bishop, and suddenly he realized that this line is not working because bishop is forced to go back because black's playing the complete chess on this diagonal. So white's idea is to just eliminate the bishop and white's gonna win. White's a piece up. You have to save the bishop, but now comes the move c5. You need to look for your opponent's best defense. Basically, the idea is to cut off the diagonal and then white's a piece up. Takes, bishop takes, and now comes d4. Once again, cutting off the diagonal. Black have to take with the pawn, and after rook b7, nothing's happening. White's just winning. Even blacking is weaker now, and it's just winning for white. White can try d3, but after queen d3, nothing's happening. The queen defends the knight. Queen b5 is threatening. The king is very weak, and white's totally winning. So that's exactly what Sam thought is coming. So now you see, here's another point that we should always try to consider consciously, which is okay, which is overcome resistance when faced with it. So in this position, of course, Sam thought the best possible defense for white, but you need to think, and you need to somehow make knight g3 work. Is it possible anyhow to make knight g3 work? Try to pause if you haven't really found yet. Okay, knight g3. Is there any way to make queen h4 work? You see, what was the problem? The problem was after queen h4, there was knight c2. Yeah. So if at the place of queen h4, if we play rook a2, which is a brilliancy, queen h4 is working and black is totally winning. Because this time, if let's say white tries to play knight c2, black can just sacrifice the rook for the knight, and after queen c2, queen h4, it's still the same thing, but now the bishop can't be attacked and it's completely winning for black. Queen g3 is coming, you can't move the knight, g3 would be coming, and that's it. That's GG, the game is over. Let's say queen d2, the best defense, trying to attack the pawn, but after takes, queen e3, the bishop's just more stronger than the rook. Black's currently at exchange down, but having the 2 pawns extra. But g3 is coming up, which is completely winning for black. Knight c2 is not coming. Let's look at for some other moves. Let's say queen b3 attacking the rook. We can't move the rook from the second rank because knight c2 would be strong. Here comes the rook d2. Let's say rook d1, rook b2, attacking the queen. And now once again, queen h4 is coming, which is winning. So let's say a move like knight e2 maybe, attacking the bishop. Once again, sacrificing the rook, takes queen h4. g3 is coming, and this is just winning for black. So that's exactly how you need to think in chess. You see, we thought of candidate moves, then we saw then we saw how to overcome resistance when faced with it. Then we quickly evaluated how much time a possession is likely to require. Okay, that's one thing which was not really executed in this, but that's all the factors that you must think consciously. But let's discuss what happened in the game. In the game, we had bishop b6. Sam missed this idea, but later he realized it. It's working. Queen d2 was played now, and now you can't sack the knight because after knight g3, queen h4, there is c5. So queen f6, defending h6, but now rook c1, threatening c5, and it's just better for white now. King f8, c5, takes, rook a2 attacking the queen, rook c2, bishop a5 attacking the queen, queen c1, takes, knight takes, king g7, queen a1 attacking the bishop, b6, and now we have d4. And after d4, after fast forwarding to 40 moves further, white won the game. So once again, material wise, the position is even. Many of the viewers can question me, why, how come white's winning? So let's try to once again evaluate the position. Feel free to pause the video and try to evaluate this position. Okay, so what's happening? Let me tell you pretty quick. Starting with the king's safety. White's king is much safer than the black king. Talking about the weaknesses, I would say h6 pawn is a weakness. C7 pawn is a weakness. Talking about bad pieces, The bishop on a5 is pretty bad. The knight on h5 is pretty bad now, as there is no attack going to come on the white king. Yeah. So these are the weaknesses that I'm able to see with the black pieces. And if I talk about white's bishop on g2 is pretty bad, but rest of the pieces I think is pretty good. I would say it looks like the knights are also not really good, but it's pretty good. The c2 knight can jump like this, and the whole point of d4 is to improve the position of the knight to capture with the e knight. Now, if you don't do anything, I can simply capture the pawn or push the pawn. So black have to take, but after knight e takes, you will suddenly realize it's pretty good for white and it's hard to make moves for black. You can't take the pawn on c5 because after knight takes, check, and I can capture the bishop. So it's winning for white. Another thing is, currently white's threatening to push the pawn to e5, which is another move to make sure to open up your bishop. And that's very important. You need to evaluate this position to understand why e4, even sacrificing a pawn, is winning for white, because you are simply trying to open up the bishop. I have already discussed this idea about sacrificing the pawn, trying to evaluate the position, improving your position in my previous videos. You can check it out. And let's say currently white's threatening e5 because you can't take, because knight e6 is coming and you will lose the queen. For example, if I just make a random move like c6, e5 takes, there is knight takes. You can't take with the queen because the king's hanging. So after pawn takes, I can just capture the queen. So in this position, it depends how black's gonna play. Let's say king h8. Now after king h8, I can just play queen c1, attacking the h6 pawn, which is a weakness. Now my idea is once again to play e5, opening up my bishop. Like, only piece which is bad for white is the bishop on g2. And I'm gonna improve it by playing e5. And if, let's say, king h7, I can play queen b1, putting pressure on the king. And once again, e5 is threatening e5. So that's how you need to think in chess, evaluate in chess, and think inside the box is a very important topic. You need to use chess factors consciously while playing the game of chess in the middle game or in any position. And once you're able to consciously use it, it becomes, you can keep improving these topics consciously so that subconsciously you can improve your chess. That's it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, make sure to like, share, and smash that subscribe button. I'm gonna come up with these more interesting videos like this. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.